This album is made using all Close to My Heart products and is featuring the Unforgettable paper packet. The first thing that I suggest you do is take out all of your papers. You'll have some large rectangles, some smaller rectangle cardstock, a few even smaller rectangle pattern papers, and one thin strip. You may choose to distress these however you would like. You can use the straight to the paper using the edge of the stamp pad, or you can use a sponge, stamping on the stamp pad and stamping along the edge of the paper, or you can choose not to distress. It's up to you. Next, set aside all but the large pieces of patterned paper. Open up your pre-folded accordion album from the True Fit folio and put the tab in the top left corner facing you. You're going to line up and arrange your pattern papers however you would like. Use your Tombow adhesive and place adhesive around the edges on the folio album for every square. There will be white showing in between each of the squares, as you can tell here. This allows for the folding. We will distress those later. And make sure, in particular when you're in these last two, as you can see, there is extra paper hanging over. So make sure you put it on the adhesive on the folio album, and then place the paper down, and then trim the paper afterwards from the other side. Alright, for the next step, I want you to take your tab and put it in the bottom right corner. And what we're going to do is cut indentations in each of the top flaps to create a pocket front. So taking your closable cutting system, using your mat and your oval or round template and your closable swivel knife, I want you to skip the tabbed section, line up with the first one. If you're using the oval, follow these instructions. Line up the edges of the 4x6 paper with the outside circle, with the outside oval. So you can see here. And then cut in the second from the outside circle, from the outside oval. If you're using the circle cutter, line up the edges of the 4x6 paper with the second from the outside, what's seen here is purple, and cut on the third from the outside circle, what's seen here is green. Okay, so go along and cut all 5 pieces across the top, distress inside as you wish, and get ready to attach it. Alright, up next, take your folder and flip it over so that you are looking at the back side with no paper on it, and the tab is in the top right corner. Alright, what we're going to do is put the back for the pockets, because if you see, when I close this, this is what will be visible. You see how you're going to be able to see the back of that. So, take your papers, arrange them. You can choose to use the same pattern or a different one behind. You will have one extra though, I provided you, so you can choose which pattern paper you would like to use. And attach those just like you did the front sheets, leaving a little bit of white space between each using your Tombow adhesive. Alright, once you have attached the backgrounds for the pocket openings, which by the way there's only 5, leave this one blank because the tab is there and you will not be able to see it. Take the thin strip of pattern paper that you have, run adhesive along the tab and slightly to the left of it, and attach that so that your tab is completely covered. Okay, and then you want to go on the other side and trim off the excess. Once that is completed, now is the time to take care of our white spots in between. Take a stamp pad of your choice. I'm using Cocoa here, a complementary color, and run it along the edges. You can use a stamp, you can use a sponge just like we did, or you can just use the stamp pad. Blot out some of that white. It kind of makes it look a little bit neater and cleaner. You can choose to do as much as you want or as little as you want. Alright, now would be the time, after you have attached and trimmed everything and distressed the edges, now would be the time to go ahead and decorate your album. The sides with the cutouts for the pockets is going to be the inside. I recommend that you decorate it with pictures or journaling or anything of the sort you want. You can choose to decorate the back as well if you want. If you have enough pictures, enough things to do, want to add a personalized message, any of that kind of stuff, you're welcome to the back. But make sure that you do the front tab. Okay, make sure that you do this front tab so that you can have a title page to it. Okay. Right. Make sure when you're embellishing that you should have one piece of ribbon that is significantly longer than all of the others. This is your tie ribbon. Do not use it or cut it for any embellishments. You will need it later. Now, once you are done with that, we need to start attaching the rest of, we need to start putting it together. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take liquid glass. The reason we're using liquid glass instead of our normal Tombow adhesive is because it's a little bit thicker and we want it to be thin. So you're going to run a thin bead of liquid glass along every single seam, okay? All the way across, down every seam. Then, when you get to the tabbed piece, on the one opposite of it, I want you to fill that entire block with liquid glass and then bend it back. Allow it to dry. After you have glued that, and make sure you get this outside edge seam as well, set that aside, let it dry. While it is drying, you can work on your pocket inserts. I have used the decorations and accessories included in your packet to create some cute little pull tabs so that people can tell that there's an insert inside each one. You can see the different ones I've used. Okay? Embellish those as you want. Add pictures, journaling, anything such. I'm not a big fan of my handwriting, so I like to include my journaling on these pages. Okay, so once this has dried, take your accordion album and fold it. You will notice that it wants to pucker a little bit, it wants to move a little bit. It's not necessarily super happy about it. That's the nature of the beast. So work with it, squeeze it. Moving it back and forth, and more often we'll do it, particularly once you add pictures and journaling in the pockets inside. It gets a little full, but as long as you just press on the edges and move it and bend it a bunch, it will be fine. So once your book is folded up, this should be your front page. The tabbed paper, the tab page with the two different papers, and then the tab page with one paper should be the inside. As you can tell, we have all of these scooped pockets. Okay, this is the back. What you're going to do is take this ribbon and attach it onto the back so that you can use it to then tie your book. What I would recommend is tying it, getting the ribbon situated where you want it, slide it off, mark it with your fingers where you tied it, know that you want it to be here and here, slide it off, move it up a little bit, put down some of the liquid glass or the Tombow depending on how thick your ribbon is, and then attach it back. That way you know you have enough ribbon to tie a nice bow on the front. That is it. Please take pictures of them, send them to me, upload them on my website, whatever you would like to do. That is your album, and I hope that your mothers or your friends or yourselves enjoy the pictures and the memories that you have preserved. Thank you.